What is going on, everybody? It's Jamie, and welcome to the channel Thrift-Onfire. Today we're going to pull some eBay orders. We're gonna update you on what's been going on recently around here, and hopefully I'm filming this today on Thursday. I'm going to film some more clips Friday morning, and this is going to be the Friday video most likely. Saturday, I hope to get out to some more garage sales. I did go out last Saturday as well, and I just, it was a combination of finding things that were like either at eBay price or higher that I just couldn't buy. I even had a situation where I tried to buy some really good stuff and they wouldn't sell it to me because they had essentially thought that they got ripped off earlier in the morning.
That's why I think you jumped on it.
Yep. Oh yes. Because they're over 300. Let's put that.
Yeah, I know.
Well over 300.
If you have other video game stuff, I'd be interested in buying it.
Yeah, guy came in like
Gave us his name, and
Did he?
I already self over.
I don't know.
Ban?
Pardon me? Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. Alrighty. I'll just give you $1. It seems fair.
Thanks.
Yep. You're not interested in digging out the GameCube stuff, though, obviously.
No,
eh?
not right now. We're just like kind of up to here right now with all this stuff.
Okay, appreciate it.
Now that type of situation doesn't happen very often. I didn't even leave my phone number or contact information saying, hey, when you pull this stuff out, get a hold of me. They seem to be not impressed with resellers. So somebody I probably don't want to deal with. I did buy a couple things from them for myself, but for reselling, really didn't find anything. Hopefully this weekend will be completely different. What else is going on? I guess I sent some cards in earlier this week to this company. I don't know a ton about them except for they're high ranked on eBay. You basically just ship your cards to this company and they run them off in auctions. I have a whole bunch of these slab cards that are graded, but I think only a couple are PSA graded. The rest are different companies anyway. The company I think is called DC Sports 87. You might have heard of them. It's going to be my first experience with them. I did get some stuff shipped off. DC Sports 87. This is just, you can just send your cards in and they sell them for you on their eBay store, which has a huge following, mostly done through auction. I'm going to send in a bunch of these slab cards. Now, none of these, I think there might be one PSA one here. Let's give you kind of a quick look at what I'm sending in. There's definitely some autos. This company is MTM Grading. There's a bunch of these FCG. Okay, there, like I said, there's a couple actual PSAs. These are upside down. There's 22 cards in total. We're going to be sending in. This is KSA, it's a Canadian company. Another KSA. Most of these, oh, there's a PSA right there, just a checklist card. This might be worth $10, $11, something like that. There's obviously fees and everything associated with this as well. I think it seems to be decent. We're gonna give it a try. Juan said, well, I thought about keeping this card. It's kind of cool, but I don't really need it. It's not worth a ton. Anyway, but this is just sort of an experiment. This card might be one of the better ones. Aaron Rodgers. I couldn't find this exact variant, but it's of 25. Cool card. So I'm interested to see how the process goes. Got the form filled out and submitted. We've checked off just standard amount. Some of my cards are not over $25, so I'm just gonna do standards. Might take a little longer for this. I just wrap the cards up in brown paper here. I'm gonna put packing paper on the side. We'll get this folded up, right? Got it trimmed down a little bit like that. And then we'll get it taped up and shipped out. But yeah, it shouldn't be too hard to get there. It might weigh a little bit, but I think it'll be reasonable to get this shipped out. I will update you on how that experience goes. Today, as we're filming this shipment should be arriving there. It could take up to 9 days for them to process it, but I will let you know when they sell, how much they sell for, and we can take a better look at if it's worth using a company like that. As you can see, I've got a ton of cards I'm going through still right here. I mean, this is just a handful of cards. I've got boxes and boxes and boxes of cards. And when I get into some of the, maybe the super low end cards, I'm thinking about using a company like that where I just ship in a whole bunch of stuff, let them sell it over time. Different companies do it different. I think Comp C is another big one, but you have to actually pay up front for them to list it. So that one I need to kind of think about a little more before I send stuff in. This particular one, there's no upfront cost. It's all on the back end. So this one was a lot more safer just to try. I did have to pay for shipping, so I'm into it like I think $14 so far, but we'll figure that out, in the future when this stuff sells or if this stuff does sell. But for now, let's pull some orders. We made an eBay sale, and it's a lot of DVDs. Sony DVD R- should be right down here. Would have picked these up just at a thrift store for $1 or $2 a bundle, and we're selling these. That's $1 or $2 Canadian. I don't know the exact buy cost. I've had these ones a while. Media always sells. It takes a while to sell, but it usually sells for decent money. $19.96 for the lot of the 2 lots. There's 10 DVDs in total plus shipping. We'll get that in a little box, and it'll ship out pretty easily. Next, I forget the name of these shoes. I've had them for a long time. We're just gonna go back and take a look at the listing here. It is Fred Perry, some Chukka boots. I think I picked them up based off of the fact that they were Chukka boots and they were selling well at the time. That style, I think they're way back here. Right here. I looked this brand up. This is it, Fred Perry, and I don't know how. Obviously, you know, when I picked them up, there's some high selling shoes. I've had them listed higher. I've continuously dropped them down, and I finally have just taken an offer on these ones. There's some wear on the bottom there, a little bit of wear, even some wear on the heel, but overall, there's still lots of life left in these shoes. Pretty decent, but you know, I wound up taking an offer of $20 USD on those shoes. Not really bad, but you know, not the best either. Next, it's a hockey card. I had to I watched this guy's highlights just to figure out his last name here.
Werenski score! Defenseman for the Jackets.
Werenski?
Chinikov. Nice moving front. Score!
Yeah. So Zach, is it Zach? Yeah, Zach Werenski. I had this listed for about $30 USD, okay? It is a black rainbow auto, OPC Platinum. This one, because it is a higher end card, I listed it in this insert here, but I think we're going to change it out and put it in a brand new one because, you know, normally if it was a $3, $4, $5 card, maybe even a $10 card, I wouldn't care so much. But we are going to get it in a new insert here. So we're going to put it in a new sleeve. We'll save the sleeve for a cheaper card. We're also going to put it in a mailer like this here. I'll show you the whole process of shipping this card, actually. We're going to use a little insert like this and some green tape. I need both hands to slide it back into the new insert here. So let me do that, and then I'll show you how I'm going to pack this card up. Okay, so here's the old top loader here. The card itself is in a penny sleeve as well. You can just see it's just scuffed. Got it in a brand new one here. I'm just going to make sure the camera's in a downward direction here. So we're just going to take the card, okay, place it on this. It's just a little rigid piece of cardboard. And we're just going to tape it using green painter's tape, which is just this tape right here. It's basically not going to leave any residue. The card will hold very well on here. Some cards like this too, if you thought it was going to slide around in here, you might consider putting a little extra tape on that part. This card definitely is not going to move around. Also in a penny sleeve in there, which the penny sleeve was like brand new, so that wasn't a big deal. I know I've heard other people say that the green tape is overkill. On a more expensive card, for sure, I definitely want to do something like this so that it does not move around, okay? So there we go. We got it attached to this paper here. I'm going to just press the tape down probably a little better. But then we're just going to slide it into this rigid cardboard mailer. You know, these mailers, when you buy them in bulk, wind up being like, I don't know, like an extra 10 cents maybe. Okay. Just going to fold it over. Now, before I actually get a shipping label for this, I like to use these green stickers. Sometimes I'll just use tape as well, but I have a ton of these stickers that I got in an Amazon lot a long time ago, and they work perfect for just this, okay? So there is a seal here. I find that the glue on that seal can be a little iffy sometimes, so I'm just going to do that so that I'm pretty sure that it's going to stay, you know, intact until it gets there. And yeah, that's it. Then obviously this is going to be going to the US, so I'm going to be adding an HS code to the listing. Other than that, it is ready to be shipped out. Now, I do have one other sale, and here's the problem. It's a Toronto Blue Jays 90s Ravens button-up. So it's a jersey, but like a material, like a just a cotton jersey from the 90s. I've sold it on eBay for, did I write down how much? $31.96 USD. Here's the problem. I can't find it. So it's sold on eBay. I looked on Depop. It's not listed on Depop. I looked on Poshmark Canada. It's not listed, or it was never sold on Poshmark Canada. I also looked on Poshmark US. Same thing. It's not listed there. Even though my Poshmark US are set to on vacation mode, I can still see all the listings. They're not. It's not listed. I can't see it in the solds. The only other place I could see it being is the antique booth. Okay, maybe I delisted it everywhere except for eBay and took it there and tried to sell it. I will look there. I'm going to drive there today and take a look. I have looked through all my clothing bins. I've looked through all this racking. I've looked in my jersey racking in the house. But what I thought I would do, I'd just take you to the booth. I'll show you what the booth looks like right now. And yeah, we'll look for this jersey. If not, we'll have to contact the buyer and tell them what happened and cancel the order. But I'm really hoping it's there. I don't really know anywhere else it would be, unless somehow it was sold on eBay and then relisted on eBay. But I think that seems not likely. But yeah, that's what we'll do now. I'm gonna get this stuff shipped out so I can drop it off. Then we'll run to the booth, see if it's just hanging up there. Maybe somehow I delisted it everywhere except for eBay and took it to the booth to sell. And it could be there. I know I've had it there before, but I don't know when. So that's the last place we can look. So let's get this stuff shipped out and then we'll take a trip to the booth. Thought I'd give you guys a little bit of an update about the booth. So first off, let me just say I have not been going to the Goodwill bins. I haven't been to the bins in well over a month probably. You know, it's just not convenient for me to go up there unless I'm using Stallion Express or unless I'm just planning a trip up in that direction. Even when we went to Costco the other day, I didn't go to the Goodwill bins. It just didn't work out. It wasn't a priority. But that is where I sourced a ton of stuff that has wound up in my antique booth. It's really hard to find stuff in thrift stores to put in the booth because I'm not putting glassware. I'm not putting your typical antique stuff in the booth. My booth is a little more flea markety. It's definitely pop culture, sports memorabilia, and maybe a little bit of vintage stuff, but it's more, I would say it's more flea markety for sure is the way I have mine set up. Yeah, garage sales have just not been good for me this year either. So, you know, I was thinking, yeah, I'm really going to stock up, you know, find a whole bunch of really cool stuff to throw in the booth and it'll kind of hold me over. That hasn't really happened either. Now, that being said, I still was able to put a bunch of stuff in there just yesterday. You know, obviously this shirt that we're looking for sold last night and I was there yesterday morning, so I didn't really even look through the clothing when I was there. So that's sort of a unfortunate thing too, that I have to make a second trip here just to see if I can find this shirt. But you know, a positive, I guess, is I can show you guys what the booth currently looks like. But I did throw a bunch of stuff in from that $500 buy, including a whole bunch of new cassette tapes, a bunch of those stickers I got in a little, this little sneaker bowl. I'll show you what that looks like when we get there. I threw all those wrestling DVDs wound up going there, and I don't know, some other little stuff as well. But I haven't really been throwing a bunch of new stuff in there. I've been sort of taking stuff out, trying to mix it up a little bit, moving things around in the booth to give it a different, you know, sight line for somebody who's walking in there, maybe who's been in there before but never noticed something. So yeah, it's not been the best. So I was hoping that sales were going to go up. Sales have actually been going in the opposite direction. I haven't lost any money at the booth. There's never been a month where it's cost me money, except for, you know, initially the first month when you pay rent, that costs you money, that you never, you know, that you have to put into the booth. But besides that, I've done pretty well and always made some money. This past month, when you remove rent and everything, you know, it's about $100 that, you know, will wind up going in my pocket. That's not great. That's fine if that happens occasionally, but, you know, over a long period of time, the amount of time and effort that I do put into the booth regularly, that wouldn't be really something I'd want to continue to do. But still, that being said, you know, I'm going to give it a few more months before I make any decisions. And I would think my first decision, if I ever decided to, you know, change things up drastically at the booth, would be to downsize and maybe just go to like smaller shelves or something like that and not have an entire booth. But I don't really know. It really depends on what kind of inventory I can pick up. And yeah, So that being said, the booth has been good, not great. It's definitely been on a bit of a decline, but I still really enjoy it. So I'm going to continue to do it for now. And yeah, let's get there and I can show you what it looks like. See if we can find the jersey, and that would be best case scenario, but let's get there and find out. This is the current state of my booth. Okay, at the very bottom from the $500 buy are these cassette bins that we said we're going to bring here. Lots of cards, lots of smalls. Here is the stickers from that $500 buy as well. You can see those tins up there. There's, who doesn't love Golden Tee Golf, right? Lots of little pins, lots of collectibles. So I have a ton of smalls. I do have a few bigger items as well, but a lot of smalls. I did redo all these cassettes. All of them are pretty much new, completely filled it up. It was about 25% empty. Now here's the clothing. Now I'm going to tell you right now, as I go through these, it's not going to be successful at all. I did go through all these, but just could not find the shirt. Am I super surprised? No, but definitely worth looking. The last thing you want to do is cancel an order. We'll take one final look here. I still do have this magazine rack crammed full of books and magazines and lots of fun goodies. Well, no jersey. That is unfortunate. I will go back home. I won't be in the video. If I find the jersey, I'll let you know. I will look in behind my clothing rack just to make sure it didn't fall off of something. But I'm pretty sure this must have sold somewhere, maybe even here. I could go back and look at my solds because I do get a list of everything that's sold at the booth. It could have sold here and I just wasn't aware of it, and it never got delisted on eBay. Regardless, it's not here. So that kind of sucks. Good news here, I do have a check. I wasn't expecting that it was check day here, so I'm leaving with some money, so it's not a total loss. I would have got it probably 2 weeks from now when I came back just to do a restock here and move stuff around, but yeah, check day, so mine up getting a check, so happy with that. I'm gonna go home, finish out the rest of my afternoon, probably list some more cards, some stuff like that. We will catch up in the morning and ship whatever sold overnight, hopefully a bunch of things, but the way things have been going, I expect just a handful of items, but we'll catch back up tomorrow morning. It is the very next day and I do not have any sales on my eBay main store. Now I was kind of surprised about that. On my secondary card store, I think I sold two, smaller value cards, not, worth like, one was worth $4, one was worth $5, very low value cards. So no sales overnight. I was very surprised. So what I wound up doing was kind of looking to see what was going on. And I think, so when I'm filming this, it is July 11th. Okay. On July 8th, all of my sales and promotions I had on eBay have stopped. So this morning when I figured that out, first thing I did, I'm running a 10% off sale, a 15% off sale, a 20% off sale, a 25% off sale, and a 30% off sale, all in different categories. I did hand select, what went into the categories this time. Sometimes I'll just pick like shoes, 20% off, but I actually, there's multiple things. But if you go take a look at my main eBay store now, you'll notice that probably 90% of the store is on sale. I think golf clubs aren't on sale, and there's just a few other items that I didn't put on sale, but everything else is anywhere from like 10 to 30% off. I do think that was probably a big part of it. I have been listing every day. Even this morning, I listed 5 new items. Still not really a lot of clothing items are getting listed, so it's either one of two things, I guess. The mass amount of collectible cards, like hockey cards that I put on my stores, really slowed down sales, or it could just be the fact that all of my promotions have stopped, because I was still getting sales trickling in. I'd get 3, 4, 5 in a day, but the last couple of days have been really slow. But being that I have no promotions on whatsoever, I think that's a pretty big indication. I have heard other people say sales are slow right now. I don't think it's a great time. Summer slowdown, if you believe in that, we're kind of in that window right now as well. But, it can't hurt to run sales and make that effort. But I guess, there's nothing else new to report here. No sales. We're not going to pull any orders. This video kind of went all over the place. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. And yeah, I don't know. I guess we're going to end this one here. If you guys like videos like this, please give it a big thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing for more content. We'll see you guys soon.